Good morning. This is Matthew chapter 19. When Jesus had finished saying these things, he departed from Galilee and went to the region of Judea across the Jordan. Large crowds followed him, and he healed them there. Some Pharisees approached him to test him and asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife on any grounds?" "Haven't you read," he replied, "that he who created them in the beginning made them male and female? And he also said, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they're no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." "Why then," they asked him, "did Moses command us to give divorce papers and to send her away?" He told them, "Moses permitted you to divorce your wives because of the hardness of your hearts. But it wasn't like that from the beginning. I tell you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another woman commits adultery." His disciples said to him, if the relationship of a man with his wife is like this, then it's better not to marry. Jesus responded, "Not everyone can accept this saying, but only those to whom it has been given. For there are eunuchs who are born that way from their mother's womb. There are eunuchs who are made by men, and there are eunuchs who have made themselves that way because of the kingdom of heaven. The one who is able to accept it should accept it." Then children were brought to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray, but the disciples rebuked them. Jesus said, "Leave the children alone. Don't try and keep them from coming to me, because the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." And he placed his hands on them before moving on. Just then someone came up and asked Jesus, "Teacher, what good must I do to have eternal life?" "Why do you ask me about what is good?" he said to them. "There is only one who is good. If you want to enter life, keep the commandments." "Which ones?" he asked. Jesus said, "Do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not steal, do not bear false witness, honor your father and mother, and love your neighbor as yourself." "I've kept all of these," the young man told him, since I was young. What still do I lack?" "If you want to be perfect," Jesus said, "go, sell your belongings and give to the poor, and you'll have treasure in heaven. Then come and follow me." When the young man heard that, he went away grieving, because he had many possessions. Jesus said to his disciples, "Truly I tell you, it will be hard for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven. Again, I tell you, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven." When the disciples heard this, they were utterly astonished and asked, "Well, who then can be saved?" Jesus looked at them and said, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." And Peter responded saying, "See, we've left everything and followed you. So what will there be for us?" And Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, in the renewal of all things, when the Son of Man sits on his glorious throne, you who have followed me will also sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or children or fields because of my name will receive 100 times more and will inherit eternal life. But many who are first will be last, and the last first." I wonder what struck you in the passage today. Maybe it was that first bit about marriage, where Jesus is just raising the importance of marriage. And that bit, what God has joined together, let no one separate. Or the bit where he's talking about how important children are, where he's saying, don't stop the children coming to me, I want to bless them. Or maybe it was the bit about the rich young ruler, where again, Jesus challenges him. He comes to Jesus saying, "I've not murdered, I've not stolen, I've honored my father and mother." And Jesus responds and says, yeah, now go and sell everything you have and give it to the poor. And of course, that was such a hard thing for this rich young man to do. Jesus is calling people to follow him. He's calling you to follow him. And it will look different for different people, but it will be radical. He'll call you to live differently. He'll call you to give certain things up. But there's a wonderful promise at the end where he promises that in life to come, we'll inherit things. Jesus says, give up, sell to the poor, and you'll receive treasure in heaven. He said to his disciples, everything you've given up on earth, you'll receive 100 times as much and inherit eternal life. So my encouragement for you today is live for Jesus, make good decisions, but also know there is an eternity, a future coming when he'll reward you for the choices you make here and now. Guys, have a great day.